Okay, thank you everybody. The second half of this meetup is about getting your own virtual assistant. I'm Alwin and this is Radboud.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about how we're going to combine Mendix with AWS Sumerian. First start with a little background information. Oh, there goes my microphone. Let's see. Thank you.
No dancing?
First, a little background information. Why are we combining Mendix with Sumerian? And it started a couple of months before Mendix World 2019. And we wanted to showcase something fun, interesting, and cool. And we had this idea about a game where a virtual assistant would guide you through the game and help you complete the game. And we had Mendix, and for the virtual assistant, we found AWS Sumerian. And with little effort, we completed a complete game, which we showcased at Mendix World, which included not only a virtual assistant, but also IoT, 3D elements, and image recognition. That we were able to do that in such a short period of time shows again the power of Mendix to have a complete solution with little effort. Now I'm going to introduce to you our third presenter of the evening, which is Eve.
Hey, Eve. She needs to wake up a little bit. Hey, Eve. No, it doesn't matter. I had the same problem with the recorder. Hello? It's not picking it up. Hey, Eve. Let me just... Hey, Eve. Oh. Also very important. Hey, Eve.
Hey, Fritz.
Hey, Fritz. Hey, Eve. There she is. Can you tell us something about the game?
The idea of the game was to hack the switchboard of a time machine in order to jump back in time and save the world. Newly developed widgets and JavaScript were used to keep the game running. For example, various components such as AWS Sumerian and TensorFlow are controlled by actions performed in Mendix. These actions are performed by the player on a touch screen on which a screen with switches is visible. This screen with the developed widgets for the switches is completely built in Mendix. As mentioned, Mendix ensures that the various components can respond to actions that the player performs. It ensures the transfer of information to these components. The logic in Mendix determines on the basis of these actions what information should be shared, so Eve responds to how the player plays the game. This way Eve also knows when it is time to start the image recognition app and start scanning the switchboard. The game that has been developed in less than 3.5 months, showing once again the power of Mendix. In a short period of time, it is possible to realize a well-functioning application that meets all requirements and wishes. But perhaps even more interesting is the ease with which Mendix can be linked to other components such as AWS Sumerian and TensorFlow. If you want to learn more about the game, please ask one of my human colleagues.
And what was your role in the game?
In the game, I played the role of Eve, the virtual assistant. Every every player is unique, based on a personal code generated by the Mendix submission form. This code made it possible for me to communicate with the Mendix core and the player. The communication with the Mendix core was based on REST API services, in which I could ask if there was a need to communicate to the player. When such need arose, I used AWS Poly to speak to the player. I was in charge of telling the player the setting of the game and the closing remarks when the game was over. During the game, there were a few basic instructions I could use, like giving a hint, giving a compliment, or starting up a recognition app in which players could scan the game board. All in all, I really enjoyed playing my part in the game.
Thank you, Yves.
Okay, thank you, Yves, again. And this is the picture that Yves already showed you before. This is a bit the architecture of the game, where you can see Mendix in the middle. And Mendix is, in that sense, a perfect tool for being the core of this game, because it's very easy in Mendix to create APIs and to connect other programs to it. It's also very easy to build logic, like game logic. You can integrate JavaScript, which actually is the sliders that the player has to swipe or to press. And also you have the Mendix database where all the information is combined and where all so that good progress of the game is kept. Now we're going to focus a bit more about the connection between AWS Sumerian and Mendix. As Yves already explained before, it's based on REST calls. And there are two different web calls which can be done. First of all, Yves could give like a bit of information, like I'm done talking, I'm done with my introduction, you can start the game. Another way of communicating is during the playing of the game, Yves asks every second, do I need to say something? Do I need to do something? And Mendix, based on its logics, can tell Yves, yes, you need to say this, or no, it's fine for now, the player's still playing. I will show you a bit how that is done in Mendix. This. So as you can see here, this is the basic way to do REST APIs. And you can see there are a couple of them over here, which basically say like start game or end game, where Yves can say something and then says like, I'm done, you can start the game, or I'm done with talking and you can end the game. And the get game information is the one where she asks every second, do I need to do two things? Do I need to say something? So this is all quite basic and easy. And the information that we give to her is also quite basic. So we give her information like just a string, which is a hint, which is just text, just say this. And the microflow that's behind this call is just basic Mendix logic, where eventually after some checks we decide, does Yves need to communicate with the player? Based on some logic, it's yes or no, and then it's based on some logic like which kind of communication. It needs some kind of encouragement, a hint, does it need to open the recognition app? And the hint is then, if it's a hint, then it's decide which hint it is, which based then on the current progress of the player is picked automatically. And as you can see, integrating a virtual assistant in Mendix is, for the Mendix side, it's really easy. So that's not the difficulty of that. But now we're going to let Yves tell a bit how you built a virtual assistant.
Okay. How were you created?
Let me show you in a video. This is the AWS Sumerian Development Studio in which you can build AR and VR applications. We will start with an empty scene. Next, we'll choose a host entity that will represent me and start downloading it. While we wait for the host to become available, we add a light so we can see everything in the virtual world. Now we drop the host to the scene. Add some basic configuration, like point of interest. Enter the speech variables and add a speech file. For now, we'll enter a basic greeting. We save it and add a default gesture file to make the host move. In order for the host to do anything, we add a state machine. The only action we now add is start speech. And we select the created speech file. Last, but certainly not least, we generate gestures on the speech file, which is a quick way to add some movement while the host speaks. Hi, my name is Eve, your personal virtual assistant. Nice to meet you. That is how it is done.
Thanks, Eve.
Please let me know when you need me again.
Okay, thank you, Eve. So basically, building your own virtual assistant is easy. You only need a host, a light, a speech file, and a speech action. And you have your own virtual assistant.
Sorry about that. Mic was still open.
Thank you, Eve. It's quite easy to build somebody like Eve, yes.
Please let me know when you need me again.
And it's also fun to do. And from that point on, you can basically do anything. You can build a whole background, or I don't know, implement it in a Mendix app, with a Mendix app. Now, continue with the future of virtual assistants. I have hardly seen any virtual assistants in real life, but there are some careers or some jobs that you could, or some branches where you can see they could be quite useful. Let's say a hotel. Let's say you go to a hotel and you want to check in. What do? You basically say to the front desk your name. The person is going to look up if your room is available and which room number it is. It will give you the card, tell you the way to the elevator. You're going to ask maybe what time is breakfast. The person gives that information, the checkout time, etc. But why does a human person need to do that? All things can be done by a virtual assistant. The person can look up if your room is available, if it's cleaned. The person can show you on a map where you need to go. It can tell you the breakfast times, the checkout times, and you can even make the virtual assistant respond to simple questions like, what are the highlights of the city? So in this way, the personnel can focus on the more difficult tasks, the more difficult questions. And in this way also, costs can be saved in that branch, and there are more examples like that. Also, Eve would like to tell something about that.
Hi, Eve. It's not muted. Hi, Eve. I don't know where that icon comes from anyway,
That's
but
already there.
I think my processor is overheating now. Yes, it is. Hi, Eve. Apparently AI has a choice these days. Hey, Eve.
Maybe she has stage fright. I don't know.
I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah. Hi, Eve. Please.
That helps.
Do you have an example of virtual assistants?
Sure, here is a video of the AWS concierge experience.
Hi, Christine.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Sumerian Concierge Experience. Let me show you to your seat. Icon Naganum.
Yep.
Close floor plan.
Close everything, apparently. Well, that was that. Thanks, Eve.
Thanks, Eve. Well, at least you get a bit of an idea.
Please let me know when you need me again.
Yes, thanks, Eve. At least you get a bit of an idea what a virtual assistant can be in real life. And as you can see, just as the hotel room, it just could show you the way to your seat, and you can talk to the assistant. And the concierge even has a recognition, so it could recognize the person that's standing in front of them. And now we mostly talked about virtual assistants, but maybe AWS Sumerian doesn't need to be a virtual assistant. It could be much more than that. It could also do other tasks in our everyday life, take over other tasks in our everyday life, like the news.
Good day. Welcome to ITV News, the #1 channel to keep you up to date. Here is the news of today. Hat-trick for Wijnaldum. Liverpool midfielder Jorginho Wijnaldum scored a hat-trick against Estonia in the last Euro 2020 qualifying game of the Netherlands. Ronald Koeman's side had already qualified for the finals. Wijnaldum is the first midfielder to score a hat-trick for the Netherlands since Johan Neeskens in 1972. Despite this emphatic victory in Amsterdam, the Dutch did not top the group.
Mendix 8.3. Mendix recently released Mendix 8.3, which will give you a lot more governed control when it comes to the App Store. The new release brings user experience to the forefront.
So maybe you already see yourself seeing the news like this on your TV, maybe, or maybe you only like the real version for now. But that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
More Mendix commercials.
More Mendix commercials.
I don't know how many are in there anyway, but huh? Oh yeah, we're moving.
Okay.
So that's it.